Hey everybody, welcome back to Pardonwell Live. I'm your host David Lilly. It's Sunday night, 8:30, and we're hanging out. And we're gonna have a good time. Gonna talk about the news and what happened this week because a lot has happened this week. Lots been happening every week. Every week we got stuff happening all over the place. So tons of topics. So I'm gonna rush through them again. I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But before we even get started, we got Zach in the comments going, "Let's friggin' go." Anyway, guys, just to let you guys know, the chat is open. So if you want to hit me up, you got any questions, you want to just talk about whatever, go in the chat and do so. I'll most likely read them out. Guys, the title of this week is Real Tragedies with Fake People. I think you know where I'm going with this. California is literally on fire. Maybe still, maybe some parts, maybe not. But you know what else is on fire? Well, my website. That was such a bad transition. I apologize. I absolutely apologize. But if you do go to pardonwell.com, maybe you'll see an apology. I'm lying. Guys, you want to see some on fire art? You can go to Comic Art right here. All of this is my artwork. It's like a little mini gallery. And just go look at it. You didn't have to purchase anything. But if you do want to purchase something, all you got to do is click on any one of these. It'll take you right to my Etsy. Get all different kinds of shapes and sizes. Got prints, got originals on there as well. I'm going to be adding some other original stuff as well. Some of the fine art, more high end stuff, because I'm a bit bougie. I am a bit bougie every once in a while. Not everything I do is comic book stuff. So I've got some of that going on. But either way, I'm happy you guys are joining me tonight. We're going to hang out. Guys, I'm going to attempt to make jokes. It's been a rough week, not just for California, but for a lot of people I know, myself included. Been real stressful. We're starting 2025 off on a really rough note. Hopefully, it's all uphill from here. But one of the things I really want to talk about, and the real moral of the story, the real theme tonight is how to stay optimistic, stay up on our heels with hoping for the future, because a lot of stuff is coming out. If you haven't noticed, that just seems to be downhill. We got the fires going on. We've got a lot of political stuff happening. One of the things Tulsi Gabbard is going backstepping on her idea of FISA, and just a lot of just everything all over the place. Infighting on the right, infighting on the left, which I'm not so much worried about. All that kind of stuff. It's hard to stay optimistic. So I thought what we would do tonight is just face all of it head on and talk about what is the silver lining of each cloud. So one of the things, let's go and get started with I want to start with the fires right off the bat. Everybody's watched all the clips. Everybody's got their own opinion. It started earlier this week, and maybe before that. And so you guys aren't really coming here to get any kind of cool insight on, like, what is David think? Who's responsible for the fires? What's David's opinion on the fires? Well, guys, I think it's been settled, and it's DEI and incompetence and bad governance and intentionally bad governance. And what else would be corruption? And you know what? It's just all of the above. I think the rules are settled. The jury's in. Guys, it's all the above. It's all of the above. And it's hard to just pin down one thing, like, what's this thing? It's Gavin, it's the mayor, it's this. Guys, it's all of them. It's absolutely all of them. And the hard part is trying to decide whether or not it's just the people in leadership, or it's also the people who put those people in leadership. Now, I've been failing at this pretty recently, but I'm going to try to take a step back and pull some of the blame away from the people who vote for these things, because they don't always know. Guys, this is the best part, and we'll go into this later. You don't always know what you're going to get when you vote for them. The Gavin thing kind of seems kind of hard, because it's almost as if no one remembers 2020 and COVID. But leave that aside. People like Gavin for some reason, so he just keeps getting elected, or maybe the elections are stolen. Who knows? Who knows what the truth is? But either way, it's Gavin, it's the mayor, it's all the incompetence that we see all over the place in California, and it was just it was bound to happen, which is unfortunate. But a lot of people on the outside looking in and being like, yeah, all these problems seem like they could have been solved fairly easy. What's going on here? What is the deal? Well, the silver lining behind it all being completely all of, like I said, all the above, the silver lining is that Gavin is sort of waking up. Now, we're going to talk about the idea of lefties and them waking up, But I wanted to share this post with you. This was today. Check out this post. Gavin Newsom said this today. He said, "New just issued an executive order that will allow victims of the SoCal fires to not get caught up in bureaucratic red tape and quickly rebuild their homes. We are also extending key price gouging protections to help make rebuilding more affordable." Oh, could you guys even see that? No, let me. Sorry, I read that out. So this is the tweet. You guys couldn't even see that. This is the tweet. It's Gavin Newsom coming in hot with what he should have done years ago, just years ago. I like that he's bringing out the idea. Caught up in this bureaucratic red tape. Where'd that red tape come from, Gavin? And again, it goes back to the incompetence thing. It's just like is this incompetence, or is he realizing that he's the problem? I guarantee he's not, or he is realizing he's the problem, but he's definitely going to try to shift blame because that's what they do. Because guys, these are real tragedies, and these are absolutely fake people. They're fake people. They're theater kids. They're pretending. And then when something bad happens, all of a sudden everyone goes, "Hey, why are you doing that?" And they're like, "I don't know." I legit don't think Gavin Newsom. I think well, that's the problem. Is he corrupt, or is he just completely incompetent? And is it a little bit of both? Can you be incompetent and be corrupt? Ding, ding, ding. That is your answer. And so I think when it comes to all this, I like the fact that Gavin's all of a sudden realizing like he's pulling a fast one on everybody. He's like, "Oh my God, Gavin's smart. Look at him. He wants to cut bureaucratic red tape." Apparently, every time a tragedy hits, everyone turns libertarian. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But I thought to really sum up the whole fire thing, who's in charge, who's not. I've got the perfect analogy. I found this on Twitter. I wanted to share this with you guys as well. Let me get this, and I think this will be the perfect way for me to express my thoughts on the California thing. And here you go. Check this out. I'm going to full screen it too, so you can just kind of see what's going on here, and we're going to chat about it. Check this out, guys.
They're on four.
Shopping, a place to eat. Tonight, as you can see here behind me, it's
Turn
been
it down to
completely
2.
wiped away. There are
Oh,
still flames burning from multiple
there.
buildings here and smoke rising from the ash. Again, this is
Yeah.
what the community would be.
That's it, guys. That's exactly what you think it is, and I think that sums up perfectly what's going on in California. It's a real tragedy happening in a place with the most fake people. Now, I get it. Like, well, David, they do this all over the place. It doesn't matter. It's still the same. There's literally fires burning around you. Quick, get the safety pins. Safety pin my jacket real quick because I want to make sure this jacket, those emergency coats, by the way, they're kind of like one size fits all, and they're huge. I've got a few of them, and he safety pinned it because he's on camera. And I just thought, what a great way to show just not only incompetence but arrogance involved in that as well. People are dying, houses are being burned. Quickly, safety pin. It's California, guys. Everyone is fake. Everyone's fake. Real people, but all the people in charge, all the people on screen, the whole entire place is built out of fake people. I don't know what else would have expected. Now, I hope these people in California, God forbid, they're like, no, everything we did was properly correct. It was just climate change, which is pretty much what we're hearing now. Because no one in charge wants to take any kind of responsibility. Um, it's mind blowing to me because I know that's it's a hard thing to wrap your head around. But better men have made mistakes in the past. It's not like you make a mistake or you're incompetent in your job and that makes you a bad person. I don't think that makes you a bad person. I make mistakes all the time. Made a few mistakes this week at my job. It's stressful. It sucks. But the thing that makes you a better person is not whether you make mistakes or not, is whether you own up to them. And the best part about Gavin tweeting that thing, I was like, "We're going to cut this red tape to make sure it's easy for you to build." Is like, he's not. All of the clips I watched all week, none of them are his fault, and he wants to make sure they're none of his fault. The mayor of LA, while she's ignoring reporters, doesn't come out and say it's her fault. She blames it on other people. She's just the mayor of LA. She's not in charge of all the other counties. Gavin Newsom, it's not his fault. It's the water reserves, and somebody broke all our fire hydrant. This is how you know these are bad fake people. These are fake people. They can't take responsibility for their own actions, their own policies, and I'd hate for them all the people in California, because it is sad. Like, that's why it's hard to start this entire episode off on a funny, joking note. Like, people's livelihoods got burned to the ground. I don't care if they're Democrats that live in California. I don't care about that. Just because they vote one particular way. Did they vote these in? Sure, but I mean, I don't know if they knew. I don't know if they knew. And so the silver lining out of all of this is hopefully we start to realize, the things that we vote for. Hopefully we do a little bit more pay attention. Maybe California will turn red because it's red right now with hot burning coals. That was an insensitive joke. I've got tons of insensitive jokes, but either way, hopefully it turns red. But even then, guys, even then, the hard part is there's incompetence in all parties, like everywhere. It's politics. They're all theater kids. They're all play pretending. They all suffer from imposter syndrome. That's why they're constantly inebriated. They think they're awesome at faking it. Their egos are high because people believe them when they talk. Gavin Newsom, I guarantee he thinks very highly of himself, not because he feels like he's competent at his job, but he feels he's competent at faking it. He's a theater kid. He's an actor. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood, guys. This is what they do. This is what they do. We got Zach in the chat. He's got, let's see what this says. It's okay to be racist if the person of color tells you it's okay to be racist. Maybe maybe that was a good comment. I like that. I did see that the mayor of I did see some people coming out for the mayor in LA saying that any criticism of the mayor in LA is because you're a racist bigot, you hate women. Anybody who criticizes the fire department is because you hate the LGBTQ, because all of them are LGBTQs. Um, and again, I think it's a little bit of all the above. There's no way it can't be. There's no way it can't be. You can't have this kaleidoscope, this catastrophe happen with all these different things fail at the same time. If not every person who's got their finger in the cookie jar is incompetent at what they do. And I think when you live in a utopian society like California, where it's a bubble of ideology. Like, none of it makes sense, and they've been able to coast for so long. And guys, I don't know how they're able to coast for so long on the fakery. And when I say that, I mean like everybody in LA, all the actors, all the rich people, all the people in charge, all the people who govern this place, all the people that keep it funding and running. Guys, Disneyland's fake. I don't know if to tell you that. It's entirely fake. All of it's fake. All these people are not. I mean, they're real people for sure, but their entire sphere is above. And here's how you know. We just had the Golden Globes, and I read about this all the time. The Golden Globes, the Oscars, all the actors and all the film industries, they all get into a giant room together and they give each other awards for pretending. Because that's what acting is. You are a good pretender. You're a great pretender. Let's give out, all the pretenders are giving out awards to the other pretenders. That's what they do. Name another industry that does that. Well, I've got one. It's the government, but that doesn't count. Name another industry that you think the plumbers union, maybe they do. Maybe they get awards, but at least they're like, hey, what's your award? Jim Bob, who's the plumber? What'd you get an award? Oh, he, did a good job plumbing. No other industry televises their award ceremony like you care. And the sad part is, do people care? Like, people watch the Golden Globes and the Oscars. I mean, they're not much now, and I'm happy. I'm happy that's dying because it's all fake. And it's arrogant for people to think that because they get, not only did their movie be seen by millions of people, they want to make sure millions of people watch them, receive an award for that movie as well. How do you not going to assume that arrogance isn't going to lead to incompetence, where they think they can just do whatever they want? Easy goes. America loves them. And things aren't just going to fall apart as soon as a wind blows through, which is wild. We got another comment in chat. We got Fiend the Monster Flew from Twitch. What's up? Hello. Hello to you, sir. So anyway, that's enough on the fires, guys. It's incompetence. It's theater kids running the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, theater kids giving each other awards is what it is. I think it's a bit ridiculous, but it's not any more ridiculous than what we saw 2 weeks ago, which I almost covered last week. Guys, the Golden Globes, and this is why I'm telling you, if you're a theater kid, you have two options. You either become an actor and you go to Hollywood, and hope it doesn't burn down from incompetence, or you go into politics. You go to Washington, D.C. and hope that doesn't burn down from incompetence. Because if DC burns down with incompetence, the whole America burns down with incompetence. But lo and behold, those are the two industries that televise their awards. You know how I know? Because Biden came out with his award ceremony. Guys, check this out. Presidential Medal of Freedom recipients. I'm going to let you take one guess as if there's any actors on here. Boy, are there some actors on here. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. So let's go down the ones we recognize. Bono, Medal of Freedom somehow. Don't know about that, but whatever. Michael J. Fox. Now that one I'm gonna let pass. He's the only one on this list that I think deserves an award. Maybe Denzel, but think about what they all got. They got Magic Johnson. I could see him getting an award. He's an American staple. You got Bobby Kennedy. I think that's old RFK's dad. That seems like a slap in the face to RFK Jr. Maybe not. Maybe he's proud. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Ralph Lauren, guys. I don't know if you know this, but the person I was like, you know who needs a Medal of Freedom? Ralph Lauren. Is Ralph Lauren even in America? Isn't Ralph Lauren from like somewhere else? I don't know. Who cares? It's fashion. Fashion's dumb. Bill Nye, the Science Guy. That's a good one. Another complete actor, not even a science guy. He's an engineer, but whatever. You got my favorite on this list is Georgie Soros. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but George Soros got an award and his son picked it up. I was going to play that clip, but who wants to see those people on television? Again, all of this televised. Denzel Washington, of course. And then is there anybody else on here I recognize? No one else. Doesn't matter. Guys, it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, two places on earth that they televise themselves giving other themselves awards. It's politics and Hollywood because they're all theater kids. Matter of fact, Washington can give out awards without there being theater kids in there too. And so it's all theater kids. And when theater kids are in charge, they don't think any of it's real either. And so that's why you have tragedies come down and destroy America. It's real tragedies with real tragedies with fake people in charge. It's awful. We got a legacy back coming. Why is Magic Johnson on there? Not dying of AIDS. I don't know if you know this, but I don't think he has anymore. I think rich people cured HIV for the rich people. But or it's magic, hence his name. Might have been magic. Guys, here's the silver lining. So with all of this stuff going on, who do we trust? Was it DI? Was it incompetence? Are the fire hydrants running dry? Did they reservoirs? What's this about these little tiny fishes that's getting all this fresh water and LA's not getting any? All of this mixed information causes panic. We don't know what to look at. Guys, it's been a year of this. It's been a few years of this, but the Tesla blowing up, everyone quit talking about that all of a sudden. I'm not saying the fires were intentional to turn people's attention away from drones and emails being sent to Sean, the Sean something show. Not saying any of that, but it does seem quinky dink that all the other stuff that seemed I talked about last week is just poof, gone. Burned up in a fire, you might say. And the thing with that is it's hard. It's hard to navigate that. And so one of the things that I thought we talked about staying the moral of tonight's episode is staying positive. And here, this is our road to positivity. I'm going to start off with a Joe Rogan clip because I know you guys friggin' love Joe Rogan. So I got to put on, I normally have Joe Scarborough. We're going to switch him out for Joe Rogan today. He's talking to Theo Vaughn, and I thought this was cool, and this would be a good way to start this
and
off.
I don't know the
truth.
I don't know the truth. But when you look in the January 6th thing, and you said that didn't they admit they had 26 agents there? Is that what they admitted to, Jamie? Because it's the most recent discussion about what actually took place in January 6th. Like, how many of those people?
This article is talking about this is 20.
20.
I just wonder
20 agents.
What starts to happen if as a society you don't believe and trust in. I believe that the trust overall in government and government and authority and in America really as a whole is kind of starting to dissipate.
Along with the trust in the media. So
right.
At the same time.
So then things. Has that ever happened in history? And then I'm sure it has. And where do we go from here?
Well,
I guess
we
it's
never lived in
too
a
big
time.
of a question.
When you say, has it ever happened in history? I mean, sure, things have fallen apart before, but has it ever come back together again? Maybe not, but maybe it didn't have the internet back then.
Right.
So what people are looking at, like with Trudeau resigning and Trump winning, and then, you know, all this talk of Robert Kennedy getting in, the Make America Healthy Again movement, like that we might be able to see legitimate change this go around. Like with Vivek and Elon being in charge of government efficiency, we might be able to see. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful for the first time in a long time. But I'm curious to see what can actually get.
So there it is. Even Joey Rogan's hopeful. And so I think it's important to stay hopeful, number one, but not just fake it. Not be like the fake people. Let's just fake hope. I think there's legit things to be hopeful for. And one of those things is there is the internet. And the internet's done wonderful things. I think the internet, I mean, outside of getting Trump in 2016 with the meme wars, I think the internet has completely dismantled the facade of what most people thought was how politics runs and how mainstream media back them up, and just steered America and the people living in it one direction and one direction only. Now, is it perfect? I don't think everyone, again, I think what Theo just brought up is like, what do we do when no one trusts anybody? The media, the government, no one trusts anybody. And seeing this thing with the California, I think what happens, this is me answering Theo, I think what happens when no one trusts anybody anymore is you start to take a step back and you realize what might be truth and what might not be truth. This is one of the reasons why I'm not even a fan of talking about politics as in the policies, but more the culture that moves politics downstream, because the culture is the concept of trying to find what truth is. Policies does this work, but I don't think that's near as important as getting the culture of the people in society that you work with on one accord. And right now, the unity behind that, you either have two, all of society is unified on what the mainstream media and what the politicians say, or all of the society is unified on the fact that we don't trust any of them. And if I had one or the other to pick one, I'd definitely pick not trusting any of them. I think it's healthy. I think it sucks. I think it's discomforting, and I think it can be blackpilling, easily blackpilling, because you're like, if we can't trust anybody, who do we trust? What is truth, as Pontius Pilate would say? And I think you don't get to actually discovering truth till you realize you've been lied to. And that's the optimism pill. That's the white pill. That's the staying positive, because I'm nervous. We're 2 weeks into 2025, and boy, did we come out of the gate running. And I don't know what it's going to look like. I got Alex Jones telling me about bird flu and them trying to release that. We got wildfires. We got the East Coast freezing and getting snow. I don't know what's about to happen, but I am hopeful, because at least people aren't just being fed a narrative. They're actually asking questions. But do you know who else is happy and hopeful? Our boy Elon Musk. Check this out. So speaking of Alex, I pulled an Alex Jones clip. I want to talk about this, but he's really talking about Elon. So take a look at this. This is what Elon said, and I'm not sure exactly what it's tied to, but it definitely seems like Elon and Joe are drinking the same Kool-Aid, because it seems like Elon's pretty hopeful. Check this out.
Is Elon Musk right to say that on January 10th, 2025, last night, that the woke mind virus is dead? That the woke mind virus has been deleted?
All right, I'm going to pause it, because I think this is why Alex Jones is a national treasure. Okay, so you got me over here, my little live show, Sunday nights at 8:30, Barnwell Live, and I'm sharing video clips and memes and stuff like that. Old Alex Jones, massive media empire, has got papers all over his desk that are memes and tweets. Guys, he printed out a tweet. He printed out, look at this.
Now let's go over some of the history of this.
Look, he's flipping through. He's flipping through.
There's another post. Woke mind virus found. 127.0.0.
This is, look, no joke. He's got them printed on paper. I friggin' love it. I friggin' love it. Anyway, he's going to break down Elon's tweet about this. About whether or not, the woke mind viruses and Elon did it in code and whatever. It doesn't matter because I don't think the woke, quote unquote, woke mind virus, however you want to determine that is, I don't think it's dead. Because I don't think it just dies off that easily. Not with Trump getting in office, not with anything. This is a slow burnout. This doesn't just end immediately. But what I do think Elon is right about is whatever was at the source of that is now dead. Maybe it caught on fire. I don't know. I'm just joking. But he did claim the woke mind virus came out of California. I'm wondering if this tweet was in reference to the fires. Because if California gets their friggin' act together and we get an awesome California after this, which I don't think is going to happen, again, I am optimistic about America, but I'm not fully sold on California going full MAGA or even full libertarian, which would be even better. Turn California back into the Wild West again. The gold rush days, that's really what California needs. They wouldn't even be talking about we're going to cut the red tape on building homes. They'd be like, we're just going to cut all the red tape. If Gavin Newsom came out and was like, you know what, guys, I'm libertarian now. We're just going to get rid of the government for the most part. Every man for themselves. We might have an awesome California in a few years, but I don't think that's going to happen. Either way, I don't think the woke mind virus is going to die off, but maybe Elon's talking about the source. Maybe Silicon Valley's pretty much turned sensible to some extent. From what I understand, we got a bunch of tech bros who have kind of figured out this postmodern concept of just changing genders whenever you want, and so maybe the woke mind virus is kind of falling off the bandwagon, and maybe this fire set off. Either way, I thought this clip was important because Alex Jones prints out his freaking tweets and talks. I got to start doing that. Anyway, I love Alex Jones. He's perfectly fine in my book. And guys, you know what? You know why I like Alex Jones? Because you can go to the alexjonesstore.com/pardonwill and buy some Alex Jones stuff. Not me shilling for Alex Jones. I'm just playing. I mean, you can do that. It's a legit link. Go to the alexjonesstore.com/pardonwill. Go buy some Ultimate CMOS. And maybe I'll start printing my memes out on paper. Be like, guys, check out this new meme I found. Maybe I'll start doing that. That seems to be the way to go. It's not like I can critique him. It's not like his show is smaller than mine. We got Legacy Zach coming in saying, that was popped up. Let's do this Legacy Zach one first. Mid California, Mexico again. Hey now. That doesn't sound so bad either. I do like that. I actually think I might be on that. I'm in NorCal, and I don't think the woke mind virus can be extinguished. This is coming from David Jenkins on YouTube. I've seen some of the videos of wokies in SoCal relative to the fire and their ire with Trump. Yeah, see, that's my point. David's right, and that's kind of where I'm at. I think that I don't know how, like, it's the Matrix thing, the red pill, the blue pill, and all that kinds of stuff. I think it takes a lot. I mean, I've got a few more clips. All right, so this is a great segue because I've got a few more clips. Here's a clip. We're just going to start off with this. So this is why I don't think I think David Jenkins is right. I don't think people just turn and face what reality is handing them. I think this ideology is so ingrained. It might actually take a few generations to kind of get out of it. So this, I think, happened today. Bill Maher had our boy Sammy Harris on. Now, we all know Sam Harris as being one of the four horsemen of the atheist apocalypse. And whereas even me as a Christian, I would listen to Sam Harris's show back in the day, and I'd be like, oh, he's definitely off about that, but at least he's giving it a fair shake. And then Trump came along, and the guy lost his marbles completely. And I don't think that's even debatable at this point. Like, David, he's pretty smart. I'm not saying you can't be smart and lose your marbles. I'm saying you can be absolutely smart and not have an idea what ethics are. Have no moral compass whatsoever. Guys, Nietzsche talked about this all the time. When God is dead, you wipe away the horizon. You don't know what up and down is. You have to create games to make things feel sacred again. Nietzsche talked about this. And Sam Harris went right off into that postmodernist theory and ate it up to the where now he's like, I don't believe in God or spirituality, but I did start a meditation app because I think it's all scientific, which is fine. Start your meditation app. But when you start coming out going like, I don't care if they found horrific things on Hunter's laptop about Joe Biden smuggling Epstein stuff. He said, I don't care. Trump cannot be in office. The guy lost. Trump broke this guy's brain. And what I'm trying to tell you is, even though you're smart, if you have no moral foundation upon which you build all things on, it easily just takes the Trumpers to drop a pin and all of it shattered underneath you. And I think that's what's happening with California. Now, again, I'm optimistic. I think some people will be like, oh, they'll look at their house on fire and they'll be like, well, yeah, now I'm seeing all the fire hydrants. They're going through something that will change an ideology. But when you have no foundation, you have no moral foundation that's transcendent beyond just what you read in the Wall Street Journal or whatnot, then it doesn't take much to just crumble a foundation out from underneath you, which is what happened to Sam Harris.
Same, and Jordan Peterson, I would add to that list. I don't feel like
Jordan's got some user interface issues that I like Jordan a lot as a person. I mean, but Jordan is definitely out there in not quite Trumpistan, but he's definitely Trump adjacent and messaging into the. He's in Conspiristan. He's talking.
I'm gonna pause it right there. The first thing, I mean, they're talking about, guys. This episode came out today, and it's awful. It's awful. It's hard. It's hard to see somebody like Sam. I mean, it's not hard. It just confirms everything you would assume about Sam Harris at this point. He hasn't changed. He hasn't shifted at all. He is exactly the way you would assume Sam Harris would be after the election. But basically what he's saying is like, Bill Maher likes Jordan Peterson. I like Jordan Peterson. I don't agree with everything, but I definitely don't mind him. I think he's done a lot of good. I think he's done more good than he's done bad. And I think it's important that people say things like that are good. But Sam Harris doesn't like Jordan at all because, I mean, he said he liked him, but it's Trump. He's off in the Trumpistan. He's in the category of Trump. So he's automatically disqualified because he can't seem to get past the Trump thing. Bro, that's Sam Harris's disqualification. It's the TDS thing. He can't get past Trump being elected or a person or saying funny things online, and it broke his brain. And he just dismisses everyone who might be somewhere near the Trumpistan. So not only does it confirm you're biased against Sam Harris, but it also reinforces your concept being like, well, yeah, maybe I like Jordan because of some things he says, maybe some things he doesn't say, maybe some things he refuses to talk about might put you off on the old Jordan. But that is, I mean, that's basically Sam Harris's problem is he's super intelligent, but he has no moral foundation. He can't look at things objectively and parse things out. Be like, oh, I agree with this, I agree with that. It's just, well, he's a fan of Trump, so
he's talking to the cognitive. He's out there with Russell Brand and people who are talking to the contrarian audience all the time. And
what's something he says that I would object to? No, I know. I had him here for the book.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah, so that was. Let me go back real quick.
Contrarian audience all the time,
about, right?
And
what's something
he's talking to the? Oh. He's out there with Russell Brand and people who are talking to the contrarian audience all the time.
What is that? What is the contrarian audience all the time? You mean just people who like to think? People have question things like, wait, why aren't the fire hydrants on? Why is California burning down to the ground? How come every time Joe Scarborough comes out and tells me Joe Biden's the best he's ever seen? Why is that a thing? This is what he counts as contrarian. Just people who are just against whatever comes, or people who actually have legit questions about stuff. Sam Harris. This is my problem with the ideology. This is why I worry for California, because it's filled with Sam Harris's. These are fake people. They have no moral foundation whatsoever. He has no idea what ethics are. That's why if it has anything to do with Trump, it's automatically bad. There's no real moral to that. It's just Trump is evil. Orange man bad. And that's it. And it sucks because he's not dumb. Sam Harris is a smart guy. But it's the same. This goes back to the same thing what happened in 2020. Just because you're a quote unquote expert doesn't make you an angel. And it's unfortunate that we tend to have and elevate experts that have no moral foundation. And we've seen this throughout the news all the time where they're like, well, they don't discern what's right and wrong because they're too pragmatic in their theories of what is best for everybody. And these experts aren't angels. And that's the downside. You have someone smart like Sam Harris coming out and just being an idiot because he has no foundation. And that's what I worry about with California is I'm afraid they're going to be stuck in their ways because they have no moral foundation. And so that's just one example. I got another one. I got another example for you. Here's another guy, and this is another reason. This again, we're going to get back to staying positive. I know this is a lot of bad clips. There's another guy that I talked about that I thought we were going to see a sweet story arc with. So this guy named Chris Cuomo, who was on CNN a lot, throughout 2020, just ragged on anybody who questioned the narrative, right? And I mean, we all lived through this. Most of us did. I mean, I would assume we all did. I mean, when I say most of us did, I mean some people didn't live through it, but that's neither here nor there. You know, soccer players who are super healthy didn't live through this. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to them. People just suddenly not living through it. Either way, Chris Cuomo came out and he's made a cool story arc. He got fired from CNN for being an idiot. And then he makes his own thing. He's going to hop in all the podcast section. He's going to start News Nation and go with them and Patrick Bet David and go on his podcast. And then he's going to decide to debate Dave Smith. Now, I thought this was, again, the end of the woke mind virus for Chris Cuomo. The guy debated Dave Smith over that whole news thing in 2020 and got utterly demolished. And it wasn't even a contest. They did multiple votes throughout the debate with the audience online and the audience in the room, and then did another one on Twitter outside of that, like days later. And I think Dave came out 95% winning that debate on a giant consensus. Everyone watching was like, yeah, Chris Cuomo got demolished. And I didn't really hear anything from him, except for every once in a while he pop up and talk about his cognitive dissonance of being like, I've got long COVID. It definitely wasn't anything I took, but I've got long COVID. And now I'm taking ivermectin. Even though I told everybody that ivermectin was horse-based and they shouldn't take it because they're idiots, I'm taking it now. And I got that one wrong, but I'm not going to apologize. Anyway, I'm ranting about Chris Cuomo because at one point in time, he came out for the DNC. And I played this clip. And I was like, here we go. Story arc. He gets smashed by, I should just say, he gets demolished by Dave Smith in a debate. He starts to realize, he starts to wake up. He's starting to realize that maybe everything I was told might not have been that true. And then he comes out the DNC and he calls out the Democrats for all of their major donors being up in the skyrise and everything being establishment and the regime. And it's all funded by money, sounding a lot like a Jimmy Dore or a Bernie Sanders or whatever. Sounding a lot like somebody who's just happened to start noticing that things aren't exactly what they seem on the left side of the aisle. And so I was fully prepared. I thought maybe Trump went, maybe he's going to come out and go on the MAGA side, maybe the Maha, now that RFK's opened the door for all the lefties to be able to step right on through into the side of reality. I thought maybe he'd hop on board, and he's not. And I think I have an idea of why he's not, but he's still just as dumb as he was before, and he missed his entire character arc. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see that this was a TV series. This would be like the end of Game of Thrones, where you can just watch him now, and there's no character arc. He didn't get anything out of it. Check out this clip from our boy Chrissy Cuomo.
So no, I'm not going to be able to cover the world the way CNN can. But whatever I'm covering, my reporting, what I know, my sources, I'm okay. A lot more than these guys on digital media. I mean, are you kidding me? They're not reporters. They don't.
Oh, guys, I don't know if you know when he says digital media, it's his way of talking about me and all your other favorite podcasters out there and stuff like that. It's just another way of saying idiots that he doesn't like, but that's digital media.
They don't have sources. That's why they go with some sources and they take it from other places. And then they package it in an opinion, which is fine. But the idea that they are at an advantage against the Wall Street Journal because they cherry pick every time somebody gets something wrong, like, you know how easy that is to do?
I'm going to stop it because basically what it just said is, I mean, I think he's really calling out Dave Smith on this one because I think Dave Smith really stuck a knife in him and that wound has not healed whatsoever. But he's definitely not talking about me, even though I could put myself, he's definitely Dave. I'm pretty sure Dave Smith is about this. He's basically saying you get to just pick your truths, your curated truths, and cherry pick the ones you want and put it into opinion and play it off. Because and you can't compete with the mainstream, the mainstream journals, the Wall Street journals, the Voxes, the CNNs, the MSNBCs. You can't compete with them. Well, bro, newsflash, we are and we will, and it's great to see you not even noticing. Keep going, buddy. And so I don't think his story arc is going to play out the way we may have thought after the DNC. And I'm not going to hold out any hope for old Chris. I'm going to pray for his salvation. You know, I think he's Catholic, but I mean, I got my thoughts on Catholics anyway, but it's fine. I'm going to pray for his salvation. But also I'm going to pray for his cool story arc, even though I'm pretty sure that's over with. He's never came out and apologized, and he's never going to. And the reason I say he's never going to is because, and this is why I brought up the salvation thing. Bro doesn't know what repentance is. This goes back to Gavin Newsom and the mayor. It's always everyone else's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always something that wasn't their fault. They can't take accountability. And the key to understanding accountability, really the key to repentance and forgiveness is taking accountability for your own actions. And they are incapable of that because they refuse to repent, because to them, there's nothing to repent for. Repent seems like a harsh word. I'll just say apologize for Chrissy Cuomo here. And the sad part is I can look at this clip now and we're going to finish it out. He's got one trajectory, and I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good trajectory. I'm not saying like bad. I'm just saying like his news career, if he keeps going on this, I don't think it's going to work out well. He's got one saving grace. Let's finish this out, and I'll tell you why I think he completely burned his story arc. He took his story arc and put it in the hills of California.
How often do they get things wrong?
Let's finish this.
How often are they half-truths? They want you to believe that the vaccine that Donald Trump got us faster than we could have ever gotten it otherwise, he says, and everybody seems to agree, the man they voted for and supported for president wound up producing something that's poison. The COVID vaccine kills. The COVID vaccine kills more people than it helped in any way. That's what they want you to believe.
Well, first of all, we're going to announce who's they. That's what they want you to believe. Again, I think he's referencing Dave Smith in this whole thing. Pretty sure that's not what Dave Smith wants you to believe, but he's just strawmanned everybody out there who has a personal podcast. I don't know how many. Maybe it's Alex Jones, and we're all Alex Jones to him. It's like Sparta or whatever, Spartacus. We're all that person because, guys, he's an elite leftist who got fired and still wants to go back. He wants to go back. So, and you can tell, like, he wants to go back. He's like, I'm in this podcast atmosphere and I cannot gain nothing. All Chris Cuomo's got is people like me playing clips of him, making fun of him, and rightfully so. But that's the best he's gonna have going for him. But even that whole segment is like, Trump came out with the vaccine. Yeah, we all thought that was dumb. The warp speed thing. We thought that was really dangerous. Why don't we wait a little bit and test this thing out? And because people voted for Trump back then, and then people voted for Trump again, we're not allowed to think about whether or not we should get it or not. And I know that's most likely what you're thinking is like, well, you know, we can chew gum and walk at the same time. We can parse these things out. Do I think Trump was right about that? Guys, I know I voted for Trump. I don't think he's right about a lot of things. The few things he is right about are really important to me, and they're more important than the things that he's wrong about. But this wasn't a game changer. And so old Chrissy boy here can't understand that you think for yourself, because he's been talking to sheep for the past decade and a half. And he's confused of why he's not. Guys, he is digital media, but he's got sources. And because he's got sources, he's a real reporter. And you out there with all your little podcasters, you and your Joe Rogans and your Alex Jones, you don't have real sources. You just go on Twitter, you read stuff. And that's why you'll never be able to compete. Bro, hold my beer. Because we're about to see if 2023 or 2024 was not enough for you to go, oh, maybe they can compete. Guys, all of the mainstream, the Wall Street Journal, all of the MSNBCs, they all came out and told you Trump was Hitler. Guys, Brian Krasenstein is on Twitter right now telling you he's still Hitler. These people are still doing it. They've not, maybe Morning Joe went to Mar-a-Lago, kissed the ring, maybe, because he wants to save his career. Dude, they are all staying on. They're not changing their trajectory. And if you thought maybe they had a chance with Kamala, if you thought they had a chance propping Kamala up, and then she loses, you think at one point in time, you go, okay, it's not working. It's not working. Guys, Joe Scarborough could have came out and been like, you know what, guys, we've been wrong this whole time, and we've been lying to you. I apologize. He could have repented in front of the nation, saying, I did something wrong. I'm going to take accountability for lying to the American public. And then great story arc. Chris Cuomo could have done the same thing. Everybody could have done the same thing. Could have done the absolute same thing. And he refuses. And they refuse to. Because there's just no separation. If you voted for Trump, you automatically are Alex Jones. If you voted for Trump, you automatically are Dave Smith. You're automatically, guys, these people have differing opinions. So how are we all one giant monolith? But he can't see the trees of the forest. But either way, if that didn't make you mad
Never
enough,
been
let's
forced
just keep
to take
going,
it.
because this sure.
Now, by the way, I don't believe you were forced to take it. There was freedom of choice. There wasn't freedom from consequence for those choices. You got the government, Donald Trump, saying this is what we need to do it. And then you think you're going to get the same access everywhere if you don't do those things? And you don't think that the numbers show that when the vaccine came out and made it into the vulnerable communities, we didn't see a precipitous drop in the cases and in serious illness? I mean, it's not even a close call.
All right. Well, actually, it is a close call, because every time everyone tried to talk about herd immunity, it got shut down. But Chris Cuomo doesn't know that, because all of his sources were curated by the government. But that's what happens when you completely suckle off the teat of whatever narrative regime is going to put out there. And that's all he's done all of his entire life. And so, sure, I'm going to go ahead and let Chris Cuomo ride that stupid mainstream narrative. We're better than you. We have sources that are trustworthy, even though America doesn't trust them anymore. And we're going to continue to beat this dead Tim Walz's horse into the ground to make sure you know that we're not going anywhere. Guys, the story of the ark is ruined. He just lit it on fire in California and let it burn to the ground. I got this coming in True Hype. Oh, by the way, True Hype, everybody go follow him. He's coming on YouTube. You can go follow him on X. He's my R&D along with my buddy James. Most of these clips are coming from him. Research and development. That's what True Hype is. He says Trump gets booed for his vax stance and cheered when he switches topics in the same talk. And he does. And I do the same thing. People are constantly critiquing the things they don't like and critiquing the things that they do, or not critiquing and applauding the things that they do. Zach comes in. I don't know if this is, he says, this proves that MAGA is a MACA cult, which I'm not sure what MACA is. What's MACA? I'm not sure what MACA cult is, but that proves it's not, because they don't follow their dear leader the way other people should, the way Chris Cuomo followed Biden. And so, again, it goes back to, like, I really had hope for him. I had hope for all these people to kind of start to change their tune the way Bill Maher has. The way Bill Maher has come out with his stance on a lot of the things. So some people have it, some people don't. Sam Harris sold his soul to Satan at a crossroads sometime a long time ago. And is not, I'm just joking. I don't know if that's true. Fact check me, Chrissy Cuomo. But some people change. I'm just saying, if you have no moral foundation, it's hard to base anything off. So everything is right or wrong according to what the power and authority says. That's your Chrissy Cuomo for you. So, guys, if you were holding out hope for Chris Cuomo to do a sea change, revert, okay, we got to hold on. Sorry, Legacy Zach's come back in with an explanation of what MACA is. He says MACA is Make America Communist Absolute. He might be right about that, guys. He might be right about that. I think if we are going to go into communist, it would probably be more fascist at this point in time. With the MAGA side, I don't know if they would go super commie yet. But to be honest, MAGA is built out of a ton of Democrats. You got Trump, you got Tulsi, and you got RFK. You got all these Democrats, Elon. So maybe we're going communist with it. Either way, guys, here's your silver lining. This is how you're going to stay positive throughout the entire year. This is how we're going to stay. All the fires burning, Tesla's blowing up, Chris Cuomo story arc going up in flames, Sam Harris still not giving his life to the Lord. This is how we're going to stay positive this year. Realize that we are better off than we were 2 years ago. And I'm not saying we're better off because Trump is elected president. No, hear me out. We're not better off because Trump was is the president. We are better off because he got elected. No, this is what I mean by that. I don't like Trump. Trump is Trump. Do I have any hope he's gonna be the second coming of Christ and save America? I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but anything's better than Kamala at this point in time. That I do stand firm on. Just if he does nothing but really create the World's Fair, that would be fine with me. Less government would be even better. Do nothing with the government except for the World's Fair, and I'll still be happy about it. But the idea that him being president isn't what I'm stoked about. The fact that he got elected when everybody in authority didn't want him to, Republicans included, again, that's my white pill. That's the thing. It's the Theo Vaughn. What do we do now that no one trusts the government and the media? Guys, we celebrate. It's hard. It's definitely difficult. I'm not saying it's going to be great, but if you're in America and you're worried about it, guys, it's not even just happening in America. It's happening all over the world. And I think it's a great concept. Now, it's difficult because how are you unified if no one understands what truth is? But and I get that. But then we start to ask the real questions, like, what is truth? It's Pontius Pilate all over again. What is truth? And no one was asking what is truth because we all just believed what truth was because the people in authority told us what it is. But now we're seeing all the cracks in the system, and the regime is falling apart. And the way you know it was is because Trump got elected. That was your clear sign of saying something's changing in the atmosphere. So I'm a bit like Joe Rogan on this one. I'm going to go with him. I'm a bit hopeful, and I think you should be too. If only because the cracks are starting to peer through, and the people you thought maybe would hop on board, like your Chris Cuomo's. I don't think anybody thought Sam Harris was going to hop on board. He legit lost his marbles. But I think Bill Maher, that's a cool one. That's a nice little lifeboat. I don't mind Democrats being a part of the MAGA. I don't care. Republicans and Democrats are dumb. The whole concept's dumb. To be honest, it's just dumb. I do like the idea of conservative and liberal, except for those aren't botched too. Like, what does conservative even mean? What are you conserving other than liberal values? How does that even work? All this is dumb. I just like when people critically think and put up against people who assume that you're just going to believe them, like a Gavin Newsom. Like Gavin Newsom just assumes all of California is behind him and got his back. Like, and he wouldn't be wrong to assume that after the French Laundry thing came out during COVID. Like, I know a ton of people, all the sane, not crazy ones, left California during COVID. But the fact that he got reelected, even though he's like, we're shutting all the restaurants down, and then got caught at a fancy restaurant during that, along with Nancy Pelosi getting her hair did and all that, like that's what I'm saying. Like, well, people look at that and go, what's wrong with that? The reason you asked why that's not wrong is because you have no moral foundation to understand what it is wrong. Because to them, Gavin Newsom's better than, I don't know what, Larry Elder? I mean, I get it. Larry Elder's the black face of white supremacy. So, I mean, I understand. They literally believed that. California thought Larry Elder was a white supremacist. A black guy was a white supremacist because he was Republican and he thought for himself. Mind-blowing. Either way, I'm not sure California's going to survive their ideology. They will rebuild. It'll probably be a communist nation like Legacy Zach says. I think if communism is going to happen in our 50-minute cities, I think they're prepping for that now. But I don't know. Has anyone checked in on Hawaii and Maui since their entire thing burned down? Does BlackRock own all that? Probably. Those drones that we saw in New Jersey are probably coming from Maui. It's probably all BlackRock. It's probably the globalist. I was told to say that by Alex Jones. Guys, don't forget to go to thealexjonesstore.com/pardonwill. And just so you think that I'm just ragging on Democrats being cognitive dissonant and not being able to think critically and assuming everybody's a monolith and you better pick a side. They've obviously, like Chris Cuomo and Sam Harris, they've picked a side. No matter what you do, they're gonna be not on your side, or maybe they're on your side and you're watching this for some reason. Maybe you're a masochist and you're a lefty and you just think I'm awesome. And so I appreciate you watching. Well, if you are a lefty and you're not a right-wing nut, I figured I'd throw you a little bit of a bone. So guys, let's flip the script. If you're a right-wing nut and you love guns and you love coffee and you love musical theater, you're about to love this next commercial. I don't know. I'm just going to play it and we're going to talk about it. Guys, grifters be grifting. I'll just say that. Check this awesome commercial out by the hardcore right wing.
This month's CCS, we have the Join or Die roast. This is a lactic fermentation process from Colombia. This tabby varietal literally translates to good. I spritz water on 15 grams of coffee and then grind at 800 micron. After grinding the coffee, I rinse my filter and preheat my brewing kit. Uniform grind and stable temperatures translate to consistent cups. After dosing our coffee, we'll bring our water to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, then do a 45 ml bloom at 45 seconds. Next, I bring the water.
Why is he wearing why? Okay, all right. If you are a hardcore gun nut, which I know most of my audience is, and you're suited up, you're heading to the fire range. Are you really making this? Are you like, well, you know what I need to really get pumped up is I need a very delicate, ground up coffee. I need it really to spark my taste buds, and I need to spend some time with this whole setup, making the perfect cup of coffee before I fire my rounds into whatever target I got going on. Are they like, I don't know. Do they know that we can see their grift? Like, do they know that we're all watching this being like, this is dumb. This is the same thing as when Kamala Harris came out for Dudes for Harris commercial. And we talked about that. It was nothing but theater kids trying to pretend like they're, rural white dudes and rural hardworking men, would they sit on the back of their tailgates with their legs crossed. It's that all over again. Now, it's not the same, but dude, this is pretty friggin' close. Right wing is just as bad about being fake. And guys, the coffee might be good, which is fine. You could have just made good coffee and then just shot guns in the commercial. I would have bought your coffee quicker if you would have just never brought up the coffee. Like, Black Rifle Coffee, watch us fire off some rounds. Okay, yeah, I'll buy that. But no, you had to do this. You had to do this nonsense.
Next, I bring the water to 210 mil and then swirl. This technique prevents channeling and increases extraction. The final result is a cup with buttery texture and creamy mouthfeel. Paired
hold on.
Technique prevents channeling and increases extraction. The final result is a cup with buttery texture and creamy mouthfeel. Paired with
All right, guys, if I was a hardcore right-wing gun nut and I was like trying to sell you on testosterone and masculinity, the words creamy nut and mouthfeel should not ever come out of my mouth. Like, that should not be something I say. Just shouldn't. I'm just, I know this is pretty simple, but I mean, listen to this again.
210 mil and then swirl. This technique prevents channeling and increases extraction. The final result is a cup with buttery texture and creamy mouthfeel.
Buttery texture and creamy mouthfeel. I like it talking down like this. Guys, anybody can do that. Actors can do that too. Buttery texture and creamy mouthfeel. And I pour it in my espresso cup, my fancy espresso cup that might be Stanley's. Looks like it's his wife's. She's going to be
paired with bright acidity and notable red fruit. So if you feel like getting creamy with the homies, do yourself a favor and subscribe to this month's CCS.
Guys, if you feel like getting creamy with the homies, subscribe to this super fake grifting coffee company. Why are they bad at this? And so, just to give you a heads up, it's just not lefties. Right wingers are too. Grifters be grifting. But the best part about this, going back to being optimistic, is we see through the veil. You can see it. And so I hope Black Rifle Coffee gets a big hit from this. Not in sales. I hope they start selling something that would be useful to their audience, like tampons or something. I don't know if you know this, but lefty dudes buy tampons too. It's because they're women, but to them they're dudes. Either way, guys, Black Rifle Coffee coming out here grifting. It's all over the place. That's why I said, even if California turns red, Even if after all of this, California's like, well, these policies are awful. Let's go and get a Republican in here, like I don't know, like a Mitch McConnell. He'll run the place well. Not going to happen. So I hope California stays safe. Again, it's a tragedy. I made jokes about it tonight. I fully stand by all those jokes. Those jokes were fire. Stand by that joke too. These jokes are great, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in. Every Sunday night, 8:30. I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Rumble now. So you can go there, like and subscribe to all those. All those need love, but either way, you don't have to. You can just always be here Sunday night, 8:30. Oh, I'm also on Spotify and Apple. So if you don't catch an episode and you do what I do and you work for a living, so you don't have time to watch YouTubes or whatever on your weekdays, just go to Spotify and download the Pardonable Podcast app or whatever. It's Pardonable Podcast. All of those come out on Tuesday, so you can listen. You can actually watch this from Spotify as well, and do all that good stuff. I've been posting clips a lot on the old TikToks and the YouTubes. And here's a little shout out real quick. I've been posting clips for like just recently, but I've been trying to post clips because every time I post clips, I get new subscribers. If you're one of those new subscribers, I sincerely thank you. Now, I'm not a Chris Cuomo. I don't have a giant following on YouTube. I have, I think, like 160 something followers, 66. And you go like, good God, like David, that's awful. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of subscribers. And truth is, I don't care. Those are my 166. I worked hard for them, and I'm super happy that it's just 106. I'm not. Again, I could lie to you and say we gotta get those numbers up, but it's fine. It's okay. I don't YouTube for a living, so it doesn't break my heart, and I'm actually happy. I'm happy that those weren't bots, like bots. I didn't buy those bots. These are legit people subscribing, and just let you know, I'm appreciative if you've subscribed to YouTube. Thankful, same with all the other platforms. Just wanted to give a little shout out to all the people that subscribed, because you guys are some jabronis, and jabronis are awesome. So, guys, I hope you jabronis have a wonderful week. Stay optimistic, stay sane out there. Don't get caught in any fires. And even if things get worse, they will get better, because I've read the end of the book. And guys, don't know if you know this, we win. I hope you have a wonderful week. God bless you.